Okay, so welcome back to a video, guys, and I don't normally make videos about certain specific people, but this is an exception, and in this video I'll be talking about a girl, namely HOLLIE SANKEY. Yes, I made a video like this a while back and I'm making one again. So here it goes. I've kind of like written out things and stuff, like, so I don't end up going on a tangent, just so I stick this instead of off on a story about something completely different and then ending up making like an hour video. So this is a girl who is basically persistently lied to me, okay? Has led me on and has manipulated me for her own selfish greed, and for me to grasp everyone's attention to this malicious person, I must first give you a bit of backstory and to what kind of relationship I had with HOLLIE. So it started over Facebook just a year ago. I received a message interested in me because of who I am on YouTube, and she reached out to me and I was happy to talk to her. She's very kind and compassionate and stuff like that, and we bonded this friendship. Like, she would always try to keep me motivated and cheerful, and I would do the same. But after like a few months we started to lose contact, wouldn't message as much, and we just stopped talking completely after like we organised to meet up, and we were both too busy, and so we never actually ended up meeting up. And so yeah, we were both too busy and we didn't end up meeting up, and after that we just stopped talking completely. But like skipping forward to only like 2 or 3 months ago, I received a phone call from my mate Callum Billington. He's like this guy I've known and hung out with for a while, and we met because of some YouTube work I was doing down in Green Hill, which is like, if you don't know where I live like and stuff, it's like the suburbs of the town I live in, which is called Colville, and it's not a nice place to be, but I was doing some stuff there and he was kind of interested in what I did and stuff like that. But back to this call. So Callum hits me up and he's like, do you want to come and meet me at park? And I had nothing to do, so I kind of just said yeah, and we met up and stuff like that. When I arrived, I came across 2 girls who Callum was associating with, and basically these girls were Chloe Hazard and HOLLIE SANKEY, and both of them were very good spirits to hang out with because of their like personality being so lively and interesting and stuff like that. So from day one I could always tell both of them had a thing for me. Like, both of them would flirt with me, they would always be trying to impress me and stuff like that, and most of the time I just shrugged it off and was like, no, and stuff like that. But HOLLIE definitely showed it more to me than Chloe, because Chloe's like this more shy, innocent girl, and like she doesn't really want the world to like see who she really is. But HOLLIE on the other hand is like the polar opposite to Chloe, and she's like the loudest in the group. She always wanted the attention, and if she wasn't getting it, then she would do the dumbest things or to get it, or she would make up the biggest lies to receive it and stuff like that. And I guess that might just be who she really is. She really didn't need to do that. I never saw the point. I feel it may be down to like her being so neglected as a human by friends and family and stuff like that, and it might have just made her crave like for attention and stuff. I don't know. At this time I was drawn to this. Like, I didn't see what a massive mistake I was making. Like, I fell in love with this girl because I felt sorry for her, and she would always ramble on about her dad being this nasty guy, or how she couldn't go home because she would just run away again and stuff like that. And I actually truly wanted to help her. Like, I wanted this girl to have a better life, and you can see that type of person in me just by looking at my past relationships. Like, for example, like Ray. For example, like, if you don't know her, Ray Robinson. First off, this girl was the most depressed and shy person I had ever met.
So Ray.
I said if I want this, they cut over the infrared.
The first day we hung out, I could literally see in her eyes that she wasn't happy with life. Like, you could just tell she was holding back something. And I know that look because she was holding back like the same things I used to hold back. I don't want to go into detail about her personal life, but her dad and her mum had split up and this had broke her. Like, a girl who once like grew up with this perfect family was slowly being ripped apart because of a broken couple, and she couldn't do anything about that. And this like led to her self-harming. And when me and her met, we like instantly clicked.
And that answers your other news, so yeah.
We understood each other and we knew what the other person was going through, and we helped each other a lot. And this is the reason me and her fell in love. But let's go on to someone else because that's just one example. So I'm going to talk about Ellie, okay? Now, I'm going to go through this pretty quick because there's a lot of them. So Ellie, she was constantly bullied by others at school, and at the same time she was dealing with her dad like slowly dying and stuff, which is like awful. But like, to any kid, this emotionally breaks them. Like, having to deal with that kind of stuff, it just emotionally breaks you. She had no one there to care for her, and I was trying to care for her like all the time and stuff like that. And like, when I came along, I truly felt for her, and because of what she was going through. And then moving on to Hannah, she was a mess herself. She was battling with depression. She was being abused by her ex-boyfriend. He used to beat her, and at one point he actually raped her. It was awful. She also couldn't go to school because her bullying was that bad. And even though me and her could only talk through a screen and stuff like that, I don't know whether I could say I loved Hannah or not because I'm not 100% sure. But what I do know is that I cared for that girl loads, and she was the strongest girl I've ever met, and I respected her for that and stuff like that. And so there you go. You can see that a lot of the time I've been drawn into helping people who are emotionally corrupt because I see it like a challenge to be able to make someone else's life better every day. Like, it just makes you feel better. Like, truly, try it for yourself. Try and make someone else feel better, and it makes you feel better inside, like, so much. But as always, nothing is ever perfect, and things always happen in relationships that you cannot like control. For example, when I was dating Ray, a lot happened, and you can only go so long trying to make someone happy before your life just like hits rock bottom and it sends you plummeting down. And she couldn't handle being with someone who cut themselves, but the problem was, like, I didn't want to go to her when like I hit rock bottom because she was struggling with her own things. Now with me and Hollie, it was the same. You see, I started to lose faith in Hollie because I'd caught on to some of the lies she would tell me, and I started to like question whether she would actually loved me or not, or if it was just some way of coaxing me into her life so she could just use me. At this time, like, I loved this girl a lot. She helped me with anxiety and depression by like diverting my attention to like other things, and I didn't want to lose that. Like, she was the single most thing that kept me from isolating myself from the world, but at the same time she was constantly like hurting me, and she would cheat on me in front of my face. Like, she would even like kiss my best friend and stuff like that. And I remember there was one guy she would constantly flirt with so she could get cigarettes and alcohol off him, which I just thought was wrong. Like, you don't do that. So I confronted this to her, and this is what caused us to break up in the end, because I couldn't take being used by her. She would always manipulate me into believing what she wanted me to believe. As I said, when I confronted her about this, she just argued it and denied it, and she would just try to threaten me. There was this one night when we were texting, she was arguing with me. I wanted her out of my life, and she would just manipulate, and she would on multiple occasions emotionally blackmail me into being like kind of compassionate to her. She would say like she was gonna kill herself, and she would send images of her cuts to make me feel bad for her, and it worked. I couldn't like stand by and let her continue doing them things, but at the same time I really didn't want to continue being emotionally abused by this girl. And this isn't me trying to play like the feel sorry for me card, because I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I don't want your sorry. I don't expect you to care, and I know you probably won't care. But what I do need to do is explain further into what this girl has done and how she isn't the complete girl she says to be. Like, so after we broken up and I blocked her, she started saying things about me in attempts to try and get at me or try to piss me off, which didn't work, but at the same time did. You see, this girl was going around school saying that I sexually abused her, and when I messaged her asking why she was saying these things, she denied it or was trying to divert the conversation, or she would just plain just say, I don't want to talk about that, which I just thought was weird. So I did some like investigating, and I found private messages that she had sent to other people accusing me of these things. By this time we had like already made up and stuff like that, and we were just friends again. So I really didn't want to start another war with this girl, because on multiple times like she's been able to manipulate other people into thinking that I'm someone that I'm not, like, and I really didn't want to fall out, so I just thought it'd be best to ignore it and carry on. She eventually got a new boyfriend, and like she would still say that she liked me, and she tried playing me on again, telling me that she was just saying that he was just like an experiment, and saying that she actually wanted to date me instead. She would persistently do this to me, and she would also constantly cheat on him with me. See, I don't want to go as far to say that she physically abused me, but I can say that she definitely took advantage of me, okay? I remember there was this one night, I was intoxicated to the point where I couldn't even like remember most things, and she would like continue to like flirt with me and do things with me and stuff like that while I was drunk, while she had a boyfriend. Like, and afterwards she would tell me that she still liked me and that she didn't want to be with him and stuff like that, and then she would continue dating him, and I was like, what the hell? So it finally came to the point where I knew what was going on, and I didn't like it. She had been like playing me on for weeks, telling me that she loved me and saying that she wanted to be with me, but she would continue to date this other guy. So literally I said straight up to her, who do you want to be with, me or him? She wouldn't give me a straight answer, and it got to the point where we were just arguing about this, and she finally just said straight up to me she wanted to be with him. And at that point I told her to never contact me again, and that I didn't want anything to do with her anymore, because I just like she had played me on. But as usual, the story doesn't end there. I just wanted to mention a couple of other things that happened during the time that I was dating her and stuff like that, because when she was dating this other guy, she messaged me asking me to come down to her house. So I drove my bike down to her house and came and met up with her and stuff like that, and I was talking with her outside her house for a few minutes, and then I was actually across the road as well, so like, and then her dad came out, and just want to say, like, me and him never got along. Like, I never liked this guy. He was a drunk alcoholic, he was abusive, and he was just a horrible person. Like, he's not someone who I even wanted to associate with. And as I'm stood outside this house across the road, he comes running out, okay, and he literally, in fact, I wrote this script and stuff like that. I'm not even going to read this off the script because, like, I remember it that vividly. He runs out the house, he's like trying to punch me and stuff like that, and he literally fucking, he's like this close to punching me. I've got my helmet on, so I'm not scared of like him hitting my head or something like that, or hitting my face. But like, he swings at me, I grab him, like his arm, and I swing him round. I put him in a headlock, and because like I've got him in a headlock, I'm wearing like 3 or 4 jackets, and I've got this freaking helmet on, and it is an uncomfortable position to be in. Like, it is tiring me out and stuff like that. So I throw him down onto the floor. He's laying on his back on the floor, and I've got my hands around his neck. And like, I'm not strangling him or anything like that. I'm not putting pressure down, but I'm holding his head down. And like, I am like shouting in his face, stop this now. Like, I am 16 years old. I really do not want to hurt you, because as much as I hated this guy, I'm not a violent person. Eventually, someone comes out from the neighbour's house. Hollie's like stood on the curb crying her eyes out or something like that. And the neighbour comes out and he's like, what's going on, let go of him and stuff like that. And just like, call the police and stuff. And then eventually I let go of him, and he just goes legging it inside and doesn't even look back. But the police are called, and the police are taking way too long. And so I ended up leaving, and that was that. There's also the story, like, after I told Hollie I never wanted to talk to her again. My camera's just going wonky. She basically calls up Callum. Callum's my mate and stuff like that. And he gets a call off her telling us to come down to Co-op, the big Co-op in Colville, which is my town. And we go down there, and she's not there, and her boyfriend, her and my 2 mates are there, and I'm talking to them guys, hanging out with them, you know, being cool with them, because even like a boyfriend, like, he's an alright lad at times, and so if he's sound with me, I'm sound with him and stuff. I don't have anything against him, so I'm just talking to them, and then Hollie comes walking out. At this point, I don't want anything more to do with this girl. I'm down there to hang out with them. I don't want anything to do with her. And so I'm ignoring her and stuff like that, and she starts saying things to me, and I'm just like, don't talk to me. I don't want anything to do with you. Just don't talk to me. Literally getting angry at me for no reason, and she's having a go at me. I'm just like, F this. Me and the guys go around the corner, we're just hanging out around there, and then she follows us round. Like, how sad can you be to come and follow me after I've walked away from you and told you I don't want anything to do with you? She then rings up her dad, and she's like making up some like bogus story and stuff to her dad, and then she turns to me after she puts the phone down, and she says to me, my dad's coming down and he's come to beat your ass. I'm like, yeah, like a week earlier I beat this guy's ass, and she's telling me he's coming down. So I'm just like stood there laughing my head off, like, this is gonna be fun. And obviously this guy is like probably scared of me or something, because he had to bring his mate. He brought his mate down, and they're stood there, and I'm just like, this is too pathetic now. You are bringing your mate to a one-on-one fight with a 16-year-old. It's not like this is a fight with someone your own age. This is with a 16-year-old, 2 feet tall in the middle, whatever, and he's bringing his mate. And so I started doing circles around him in the car park. I'm just like, I'm gonna piss you off for wasting my time. So I'm doing circles around this guy, and then Hollie out of nowhere started running in front of my pad. I'm like, what are you playing at? I'm gonna run you over if you keep on running in front of me. So I then decide, I'm booking it, I'm leaving, I can't be arsed with this. And that was the last time I seen this girl. I don't want anything to do with you, and if you come up to me, I'll give you a piece of my mind. Like, I'll tell her to her face what an absolute bitch she is. This girl is manipulated. This girl is playing me on for ages. So in conclusion, I just want to say this girl is a waste of time. I wouldn't bother being her friend or date her. She just plays everyone around. I watched her do this to so many people, and then she finally did it to me. And she is truly a horrible person. She'll manipulate people just to get her own way. She knew that I felt sorry for her. She took my sympathy and she used me. And I just hope that the evidence that I've shown in this video just proves that and stuff like that. I'll include the screenshots which you've seen and stuff like that. But if you believe me, thank you. Please do not even bother with this girl if she ever contacts you. She's truly a horrible person. But if you don't believe me, first to you, at least you've watched the whole half-an-hour video of me ranting on about this just despicable person. And people there's always going to be haters in my life, and haters are just going to be jealous of me. They're jealous of what I have, how much money I have, or just who I am. And that's perfectly fine. If you want to be obsessed with my life, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to obsess over the stuff which you want to say about me. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and peace out.